the young, and the restless spoilers. Oh my god, besties. Welcome back to our channel. Today is Tuesday, a beautiful day outside, but inside my soul it is a dark, stormy abyss of absolute despair. Stop what you are doing. I am literally shaking. Wait, we need to talk about this now, because my brain is actively short-circuiting and I cannot process reality. You guys, I am deceased. Send help. My soul has actually left my body and is currently floating somewhere above the Genoa city skyline. I am literally hyperventilating right now. I was mid-skincare, okay? I had a charcoal mask smeared all over my face, and I was just trying to have a peaceful, self-care evening while catching up on the latest drama, and then bam. I literally had to yeet my phone across the room. My expensive area rug is ruined, my pores are clogged with pure stress, and I am physically vibrating from the sheer audacity of what I just witnessed. We are not just watching a show anymore, besties. We are witnessing the absolute, devastating collapse of an entire era, and I am personally attacked. I am genuinely, straight up offended by the emotional damage the writers just inflicted upon us. Nick Newman is gone. I repeat, Nicholas Christian Newman is dead. I am shaking. I cannot even. My brain is buffering. Wait, I'm glitching. Okay, back to the main event. Wait, backtrack for a second. I missed a step. We need to talk about the sheer cinematic mayhem of how we got here, because it is giving major high-octane psychological masterpiece energy, and the stakes were literally astronomical. Do you remember the motel? Oh, hold on, I should have mentioned this earlier, but Nick was basically spiraling into this dark, bottomless pit of addiction, and it was the most unhinged thing I have ever seen. He checked out of rehab, which is honestly so unhinged, and ended up in that dingy, depressing motel room with Marie Kirkland. Bestie, be for real right now. Marie is officially on my do not perceive list. I am so done with her enabling energy. They were doing drugs, and Nick was just fading. He was genuinely fading away right in front of our eyes, and I was screaming at my screen like an absolute lunatic. And don't even get me started on the vibes of that motel room. Did I say that yet? Ugh, my brain is mush. Moving on, but wait, I have to talk about the lighting. The aesthetic choice to make everything look so gritty and yellow and suffocating. It was straight up art. But it also made me want to scrub my eyeballs with soap. It perfectly mirrored how tired Nick was. The writers made it so explicitly clear that Nick was just physically, emotionally, and spiritually exhausted. His body was basically giving up. The addiction, the fentanyl, the constant psychological warfare from Matt Clark, who, by the way, is the most toxic, vile demon to ever walk the earth, it all just compounded into this unbearable weight. Nick was carrying the weight of the entire world, and his body just said, no more. The final moments, you guys. I am tearing up just thinking about it. It was an absolute, unfiltered, emotional train wreck. Nick was screaming in pain. The sheer, raw agony in that performance. Give Joshua Morrow every single Emmy right now. Hand them over. He was writhing, fighting the demons in his own mind, the hallucinations of Matt Clark taunting him, the ghosts of his past failures, the guilt over Cassie, the guilt over Summer and Noah. The pain was so visceral that I physically clutched my chest. I was sitting on my floor, charcoal mask flaking off into my lap, sobbing uncontrollably. And then, death came. It wasn't violent from an outside force. It was this tragic, inevitable surrender. He chose it. He let go. And that is the part that genuinely shattered my entire existence. I need to take a dramatic pause to literally scream into my pillow. Okay, I'm back, but barely holding it together. The realization that Nick Newman, the golden boy, the moral compass of the family most of the time, let's be real, he had his messy moments just succumb to the darkness? It's too much. The writers treated his death not just as a tragedy, but as a twisted kind of new beginning for him. A release from the torment. He was so tired of his own flesh, tired of the addiction that had hijacked his brain, tired of the enemies constantly plotting his downfall. It was a release, but it was a release that absolutely destroyed everyone left behind in the most brutal way possible. Wait, we need to talk about the aftermath now. The moment Sharon found out, I am deceased all over again. Sharon Newman, the love of his life, the mother of his children, the woman who has survived literally everything, just breaking down. Her scream, it will haunt my nightmares for the rest of my life. It was giving pure, unfiltered devastation. You could feel decades of history, decades of epic love, just evaporating into the cold Genoa city air. And Mariah? Oh my god. Mariah holding it together but visibly crumbling inside. She's already been through so much trauma, and now losing the man who stepped up as a father figure. I am totally living for the acting, but I am personally offended by the pain they are putting my girl through. She did not deserve this. None of them did. And then there's the funeral. Stop what you are doing and visualize this funeral with me. It was the most gothic, devastating, aesthetically heartbreaking event I have ever witnessed on daytime television. The sky was appropriately gloomy, manifesting a total dumpster fire of weather to match the absolute misery of the mood. Everyone was dressed in black, obviously, but the vibes were just heavy. Like, you could cut the grief with a knife. Victor Newman, the great and powerful mustache, looking genuinely broken. I mean, I drag Victor all the time because he is a problematic fave and honestly the root of so much trauma, but seeing a father bury his son, after everything they went through, after Victor tried so hard to control Nick's life, only to realize he couldn't save him from himself, poetic cinema. Absolute poetic cinema. Oh, hold on, I should have mentioned Nikki earlier, but Nikki, you guys, Nikki just got her bandages off. She just survived this terrifying eye surgery, facing the prospect of permanent blindness, and the first major thing she has to see with her recovering vision is her own son's casket. The writers are sick and twisted for that, and I am straight up bowing down to their genius while simultaneously sending them my therapy bills. Nikki's tears were so real. Melody Thomas Scott was giving a masterclass in grief. I was literally shaking watching her lean on Victor. The two of them finally united, but at the absolute worst possible cost imaginable. Let's talk about the acceptance, because this is where the psychological masterpiece really hits the hardest. The family, standing around that grave, slowly coming to the horrifying realization that they couldn't have stopped this. Nick made a choice. The addiction drove him, yes, but ultimately, the surrender was his own. He chose the release. They had to accept that his death was his own tragic autonomy. It wasn't murder. It wasn't a car crash. It was a slow, agonizing choice to stop fighting. That level of existential dread? Bestie, I am too unwell to handle the gravity of these events. I am spiraling into an existential tangent about agency and addiction, and how we can never truly save someone who doesn't want to be saved. It is so dark and so real, and I am genuinely not okay. Did I say that yet? Ugh, my brain is mush. Moving on, but seriously, the way Sharon delivered her eulogy, she stood up there, looking like a tragic angel, and spoke about how Nick's soul was finally at peace. She acknowledged the demons. She didn't sugarcoat the addiction. She straight up called out the darkness that took him, but she also honored the light he brought into their lives. It was messy, it was unfiltered, and it was purely human. I was hyperventilating. I had to pause the episode 3 times just to blow my nose. Noah was there, looking completely shattered, having just escaped his own trauma in Los Angeles only to come back to this nightmare. The generational trauma in the Newman family is literally off the charts. And don't even get me started on Adam. Adam Newman standing in the background, looking like a guilt-ridden ghost. He tried to save Nick. He went to Vegas. He dealt with Matt Clark. He tried so hard to be the good brother for once, and he failed. I am calling it right now. The villain arc is about to go nuclear. Adam is going to internalize this failure and absolutely lose his mind, manifesting a total dumpster fire for Adam by the next update, because there is no way he processes this in a healthy way. He is going to blame himself, he is going to blame Victor, he is going to blame the entire world. The stakes are astronomical, you guys, and Adam is a ticking time bomb. But wait, the most important part of this entire unhinged vlog. Joshua Morrow. We need to take a moment of silence. Okay, that's enough silence. Back to screaming. Joshua Morrow is leaving the young and the restless. I cannot even process this information. He has been Nick Newman for 30 years. 3 decades of smoldering looks, dramatic hair changes, questionable romantic choices, and iconic Newman family dinners. He is an absolute legend, an icon, the moment, and he is saying goodbye to the audience. The way they wrote his exit, giving him this incredibly dark, gritty, tragic end. It's controversial, sure, but it is undeniably memorable. It is etched into my brain forever. I am genuinely going to miss his presence on my screen so much. Like, who is going to be the voice of reason against Victor now? Who is going to have that undeniable, electric chemistry with Sharon? The show is going to feel so empty without him. His final scenes were a masterclass. The way he portrayed the physical toll of the addiction, the way he screamed in pain. He gave it everything he had. He left it all on the floor. It was a beautiful, devastating farewell to a character that has literally been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. I am straight up in mourning for a fictional character and the actor who brought him to life. I'm literally hyperventilating right now just thinking about the massive void he leaves behind. The entire landscape of Genoa City is forever changed. The Newman family dynamic is completely shattered. Victoria is going to have to step up. but she's currently busy making out with Kyle Abbott, which is honestly so unhinged and gross. But that's a whole other storytime vlog for another day. The point is, the anchor is gone. Nick was the heart of the Newmans, the one who tried to build a life outside the corporate ruthlessness, and now that heart has stopped beating. It is profoundly sad. And let's drag the people who pushed him to this point one last time, because I am feeling incredibly petty today. Matt Clark, you are officially public enemy number one. The psychological torture you inflicted on Nick, making him believe his family was in danger, pushing him back to the drugs. You have blood on your hands. And Victor? Oh, Victor. Your constant need for control, your manipulation, treating Nick like a pawn in your war against Jack Abbott and everyone else. You contributed to this exhaustion. Nick was tired of fighting his own father just as much as he was tired of fighting the addiction. They all pushed him to the edge, and he finally just let go and fell. Wait, I'm glitching again. Okay, back to the funeral aesthetics. The flowers. Did anyone else notice the floral arrangements? They were so stark. White lilies and dark, almost black roses. It was such a specific aesthetic choice, and it perfectly captured the duality of Nick's life. The pure intentions mixed with the dark reality of his struggles. I am obsessing over the set design right now, because it's easier than dealing with my actual feelings. My grip on reality is slipping, besties. This situation is now my entire personality, and I am not okay. I will be wearing black for the foreseeable future to mourn a fictional character, and if anyone judges me, they are getting blocked immediately. The finality of it all is what really gets me the most. There's no coming back from this. This isn't a soap opera fake-out where he's going to wash up on a deserted island with amnesia in 6 months. They showed the body. They showed the funeral. Joshua Morrow gave his farewell interviews and thanked the fans. It is done. The book of Nick Newman is closed, and the final chapter was a brutal tragedy. But in a weird, twisted way, it was a beautiful tragedy. A story about a man who just couldn't carry the weight anymore, and found his peace in the only way he knew how. It was a new beginning for his soul, even if it meant the end of his life. I am literally shaking as I record this. My voice is giving out. I have yelled so much my throat actually hurts. But I had to get this out. I had to vent to you guys because no one else in my real life understands this level of investment. We are in the trenches together, besties. We are surviving the emotional warfare of Genoa City writers together. If you need me, I will be in bed, eating ice cream straight from the carton, rewatching old chic edits on YouTube and crying until I completely dehydrate myself. This is my villain origin story, I swear to God. Please, please, please sound off in the comments below. I need to know I am not alone in this breakdown. Tell me how much you are going to miss Joshua Morrow. Tell me you also want to fight Matt Clark in a Denny's parking lot at 3 AM. Let's form a support group, because we are genuinely going to need it to get through the next few weeks of episodes as the family deals with the horrific fallout. The grief is going to be immense. Manifesting strength for Sharon, Mariah, and Noah, because my people are going to need it to survive this. Genuinely, thank you for letting me spiral today. This channel is my safe space, and you guys are my absolute rocks. I love you all so much. Stay safe, stay hydrated, and remember to always tell your loved ones how much they mean to you, because Genoa City just taught us a very harsh, unforgiving lesson about how quickly it can all be taken away. Until next time, besties, I am signing off to go scream into the void. Bye!